I'm Soldier Boy. All across America, drugs are destroying people's lives. But you don't have to be a superhero to fight back. Because your superpower is just saying no. And taking drugs is not cool, and anyone who does is a loser. Remember, real heroes don't use drugs.
Here we are, Monday, everybody's favorite day of the week. And we're going to review this empty glass with ice. No, you didn't believe that, did you? We are going to be reviewing this empty glass with ice. Why would I bring it over there to get ice? Okay. Oh, never mind. I set it down over here because Matt always unscrews the light that makes this light right here, and it was broken loose from its base. But don't worry, I'm awesome. I can do shit in a hap. I ain't stupid. I know, I was messing around with electricity. I probably should have called you first. So, we're going to be looking at VooDoo Ranger Lemon Tea. Or is it lemon? Hardcharged tea with lemon. Weighing in at a respectable 7%. Smells like tea and lemons. Cheers. Oh yeah. Definitely a very natural flavor. I should put the recycling can right there. Hang on, my box is twisted. Sorry, that wasn't actually properly done for the amount of recycling that happens around here. Huh? Okay, fine. First in is Rich saying cheers all. Bad says cheers, Rich. Joey says first to say first. Bad says Joey in the house. Cobra says, Joey, are you posting vids again? Joey says, as of now, I am not. And then Cobra says, never do now what you might not get to later. And Joey says, yes I is. Mike says, cheers, bro. Cheers, Mike. Bad says, cheers, G. Mike says, cheers, Bad. Okay. So we had a fun time. I got a call this morning when Matt was on his way to work, because now he goes to work at, I think he has to be there at 7 a.m. And he called to say that Adam's truck, which is literally, I am parking my van and my friend Dale's in front of Dale's shed, making sure there's enough room for Adam to park, because Adam is renting Dale's house from him. And somebody broke into Adam's truck. Doors were all locked, and they helped themselves to, I know a bunch of you are going to say the same thing that I think Christine and my sister said. He had a backpack with, he's not in the house because, a divorce or something like that. It's actually a job. So when he's done with the job, just like the last guy that was in there, he was in there for like 6 months until his company wrapped up with the project in this area. Same with Adam. And so Adam had his had a backpack with personal items in there, credentials, paperwork, clothing, and $3,600 in cash. The other bag was his work stuff. Not exactly sure what he does for a living, but evidently between the laptop, the tablet, and a bunch of electronics for his work, well over $3,000 worth of stuff. Then when Matt called, I went out there because, of course, my van is sitting right next to Adam's truck, and my truck is sitting straight. If Adam drove across the alley, he'd drive straight into my truck. Went out there, and then my other neighbor, Jake, comes and says someone broke into his truck. 2 new Chevy pickups. They took Jake's work bag. He's an electrician, and meanwhile, of course, Adam had already called the cops. I went and looked at my van, and all the doors were locked. There's no sign of tampering or damage in any way. Which is good, because my livelihood of tools is in the back of it. Not everything. All my hand tools and all my Makita cordless stuff, and my vacuum cleaner and my chop saw, all that small shit is in my garage right now because I emptied the center of my van out so I could help Pam move here, and then I used it to put all of Christine's boxes for her books and the tablecloth cover. Then when I picked up David, put David's tables and all that, all his boxes of stuff in there. So I just left it empty until I actually have something to do. So, but in the cab, there's a steel box that locks, and in that box is a lot of the more expensive electronics and specialty tools, a little air compressor, and an inverter. That inverter that I showed you that I got, and there may have also been I can't think of what that last item was, and then a bunch of freedom seed sticks for whatever that item was. And of course that was my first concern, is I don't want to give some piece of shit loser one of those. But van was all secure, and I went in and took out the expensive piece of electronics and put that in the house. And so then I walk over to my truck, and I grab the remote, and as I'm about to hit the button, I see that the lock is not locked, and I'm like, oh shit. And I open the door, and the first thing I see is my expensive charger, and because it's a 2004 truck, I have a little device that converts my Bluetooth from my phone over to an FM signal, and then has a microphone in it, and actually this one works awesome. And that's still in there, and I open up the center console, and flashlights and my dildo collection and different lubes that I got from McLean are still in there. I look over the shoulder in the back seat, and my big Bug Everywhere bag is in there. That's a bag that has everything from a blanket to jackets to tire repair kit, a bigger air compressor, a med kit, several battery banks and cables for phones, butt plugs, and all sorts of stuff like that. And that's still there. So in the middle of two of my neighbors within feet of my truck, I'm the dumbass that forgot to lock the truck. And yet snake eyes. Of course, if shit would have been gone because my door was open, I would have never actually known. I would have just assumed somehow, like how did he get into two new Chevy pickups? I mean, the guy, obviously the guy isn't all that cool, because just about an hour and a half ago, Adam called me and said he decided to go on a little walkabout in the neighborhood and was following the footprints that were left by said person. First of all, we found that in between. Now, keeping in mind that Adam is parked right here, my van is right here, partially blocking Jill's garage door. She doesn't have a car, and she's been very generous. As long as I keep the apron of the garage clear, she doesn't give a shit where I park my van. Then there's her garage, her walkway, and Toby's garage. And first we see sitting on her recycling bin is a DeWalt, some kind of a tool box. It's empty. And then we're looking at the footprints, and they do look like they originally came through her yard, and you can see where somebody set a bag down in the snow. Compression marks of a bag. So I'm guessing, not a detective, but I play one. I haven't even done that in a while. My deduction is that they decided to keep whatever was in the DeWalt box and discard the case for it, and then moved on. Yet Jake didn't have a DeWalt drill or DeWalt anything, and Adam didn't have a DeWalt anything. That's because they're cool people, so naturally you wouldn't have a DeWalt anything. And you can all the hate mail you can send to joeycuz at gmail.com. So evidently they were in something else. But Adam went for a little walkabout, and at the end of my block there is a house on the corner, and there's a little burgundy SUV sitting there, and sitting alongside between the vehicle and the garage, Adam saw his bag, the one that his company laptop and the company tablet and the company whatever expensive electronics are in there was laying there, and evident from the way he sounded there was nothing in it. And then when he walked around the front, his bag was sitting there, and he opened it. His paperwork, his clothing, his money, the $3,600 was still in there. So not a very good thief. Yet I'd like to know how someone so stupid that they left a bag with, maybe evidently they just didn't rifle through it or something. No pun intended. They didn't pistol through it. Maybe just got all excited when they saw all the expensive equipment and a tablet and a laptop. Hopefully they try firing the laptop and the tablet up, because as soon as they do, it's going to call mommy. We never had these problems up here. Now, Smile Money, this is not where I insert the words Somali, because thankfully those goat stroker crap in a sand hole, they haven't made their way in mass numbers up here yet. I mean, just a few of them that own like convenience stores. Our problem is the useless part of our society that finds gullible white chicks and gets them pregnant and then moves on to the next gullible white chick. That's the problem that we have. We have a mass flux in from Chicago all the time because, as I've said in the past, they actually post. Greg's good friend, who's a pastor in pastor. Hey, one's where a cow sits, and the other one is a preacher. I'll just go with that. He's a preacher, and he actually took a picture of a sign that said, "Our welfare system is all used up." But if you go to, say, Duluth, Minnesota, you can get your stuff it's like the same day that you apply. You walk out of there with, your Obama phone and some cash, and these people are just total shit. I mean, when I was growing up, to have a murder in Duluth, now it happens on a regular basis, but because we're a tourist attraction, they don't want that. Only people like David J. effing Brown and his scanner, and you go, yeah, I mean, we got a good old town. Oh, no, we don't. There's shootings and stabbings and stuff like that on a nightly basis. They just never makes the news. Hi, little buddy. Would you like to be in my mouth? I know McLean would. Altenda, Yes, Merry. Altenda, I'm sorry, I have to correct this for you. Merry Christmas. And Bad says, bah humbug. I'm sorry, but that's pretty much where I am this year. Poco says, there is no such thing as Xmas. It's Christmas. Smile Money says, the merriest to you as well, Altenda. No, I agree. I mean, first of all, I don't know if he figured it out, but I don't give a rat's ass what anybody thinks of me. I mean, first of all, the fact that there's so much in our culture right now that are people that are afraid to speak their mind. Like, why do we have so much violence, theft, and all of that from the black community? Oh, because people are afraid to say anything. If you were to give the statistics of the crime rate by blacks, then you're racist. Another fact that I saw a whole video on, and it wasn't just it was some guy on the internet, Smile Money, but it was a professor teaching a class, and he had a black chick and a white chick, and then he had a bunch of questions retaining to violence and the arrest rate. And God, I wish I would have purchased that car from Sam. Yeah, that was such a nice... This is a small car, too. It actually fit in my garage where I could... It was a winter thing. Statistics. He was like, there was 926 arrests last year, or cops cops involved shooting someone that they were arresting, how many of those were blacks? And the black chick said 600 of the 920 something, and the white chick said 500, and it was more like 100 and something. And they were both like mind blown. I mean, I think there was more whites that actually had been shot and killed by police officers than they were blacks. And I mean, he just kept going. He goes, here's the problem. You people need to use these, your ears and your brain. And when you hear the media feed you full of the BS, you need, or the fact that maybe it's not the BS of the media, but it's that they're only reporting on a cop shot a young black guy, and another cop shot a young black guy, blah, blah, blah. So they never report all of the white guys that get shot. And again, the other one, the other stat that I think is funny, and obviously a uneducated black person or even a stupid liberal white person can't, appreciate the humor or even dealing with the stats on things. But the fact is, by capita or percentage, there's more young black guys in prison for crimes because they commit more of them. So mathematically, you don't need to be a genius by saying that, say you are a professional guinea pig racer, and for some weird reason the albino guinea pigs were naturally faster. Somehow the breeding over the centuries made the albino ones faster. And yet, you're like, well, the black guinea pigs never win because they're racist, and they always favor the albino ones because they're whiter. No, if you were to look into it, you'd find out that by design, by God or whoever, the albino guinea pig is just faster. But it doesn't suit your ability to say that Whitey over there, the cracker, once again, I'd probably get the video taken down or whatever if I actually used the N-word with the hard R. Yet they can do it, and but, I can say cracker because I have some. David J. effing Brown. Thank you, Matt, for never attending my book signings at Warrior Brewing Company. Bad says, Matt's determined to please. Smile Money says, Matt doesn't need an excuse to visit a brewery. Maybe he is just allergic to books. And Cobra says, Matt don't drink and read much. Bad says, greetings, Captain. Greetings, Bad. Poco says, oh great, Matt, I'm going to get yelled at. Poco, good news. Right now, as you know by this point in time, it is just me. So you can have your lovely wife listen in, because I love the two of you. You're, again, family who I have never had the pleasure to meet. Oh yeah, gonna have to. I got a bunch done snow removal wise. Of course, we went from we had snow, then the plow went by, And then we had rain, drizzle, and the temperature dropped like a rock, and everything froze, so that that big pile that's on the boulevard, if you don't know what that is because you live in Arizona or whatever, the boulevard is the section of grass in between the sidewalk and the street. And I am anal. I am anal, McLean. I don't like. So usually I try to get to that. So like because we have calendar parking. So this week we're on our side, and next week we'll be on the other side. Well, I don't like it that when Christine parks on our side, and like if I drive, I always have to move the car out into the street so she can get in, so she doesn't have to either trudge through the snow, or she's not going to walk over a big chunk of ice, because falling down would probably be what would happen. So I always like to get that out of there. Well, I don't have a snowblower, and there was no way I was going to be shoveling all of it, especially because our weather happened so quickly this last rotation. So today I decided that there was nobody parked in front of my house, and I plowed the boulevard across the sidewalk and into my yard, and my sister is actually parked Mike's walkways right here, and then that whole stretch I did, and then this stretch I was gonna do for Mike, and he's just like, "Oh, don't big deal. We can wait until next Sunday when everything switches back over." And I'm like, if I hit my sister's vehicle, it's a lot different than if I hit somebody else's. So I just drove up onto the sidewalk, and instead of pushing it from the street across the boulevard, across the sidewalk and into my yard, I just drove straight down the sidewalk and pushed the whole thing all the way down to Diane and Ross's. Diane is the one that puts the spite fence up behind Mike's vehicle because, and I quote, they don't use their garage, they can't use their garage. The garage is this much higher than the ground outside because they never put an apron on, never had a vehicle in it. It's just being used, and it sucks because it's a bigger garage than mine, and you could actually comfortably put a vehicle in it, but we won't go there. She always puts some bricks and a 4x4 or a 2x6 or stacks shit up and makes what we call a spite fence, because she doesn't want Mike driving across her dirt. So Mike always has to parallel park, and by design, I'm always the bad guy, even though, by all means, if it wasn't for the fact that I didn't like Mike and I try to make life easier for him, any other person, I would just go eat a bag of you-know-what, J-Dog, and I could park, if I parked my vehicle all the way to my property line, which is his walkway, he would always have the tiniest little parallel park scenario right there, because he can't just drive straight in, because there's a spite fence. I even, a little snapped up one day, talked to Ross, her husband, and said, "What is the deal with this stupid piece of crap everybody in the neighborhood calls it a spite fence?" Well, she doesn't want people driving on the dirt. I go, "It's dirt, Ross." I said, "I'll tell you what, you want me to go, me and Mike will go in on getting a whole bunch of limestone and we can compact it and get..." It's just her thing. And I go, "Well, just so you know, her thing pisses off a lot of people. And most of it comes back on me. Because if I parked using up my legal owned property, Mike has to parallel park. Difficult. And Mike says he's now at an age where he doesn't want to have to parallel park anymore." So, the other day, because as some of you may know, that's followed me for more than the last few years, they go to Arizona or California or Florida every year for winter. They're not here all winter long, so I usually plow all of the snow from like Michelle's, mine, and Mike's parking spots into a big pile right in front of her garage door and don't give a shit. Crap. And, but Mike and his parallel parking. So, first of all, I have no idea what happened, but somebody stole the spite fence. One moment, like at 5 a.m., it was right there when I was taking out the garbage, and then when I turned back at 5:01, it was gone, and somebody was sneaky, fast. I say it's probably the same guy that stole all the stuff out of the boys' trucks last night. So now I just went and swung through the whole thing. I mean, I drove across their dirt with a plow. Then I left it all in front of their little drive or parking spot that they have alongside their garage, and then I backed up into Toby's apron of his garage and pushed all of that crap all the way down into Diane's yard. So don't care. But yeah, I'm kind of pissed off. I'm thinking about calling the cops and trying to figure out who took the spite fence. Okay. There is just no justice in this neighborhood. Poco says B as in B7. B7 is a miss that has already been called as a miss. Cobra, you may have to downsize the TV to make room for the Looney Tunes 3D prints. Then he says he's laughing. Smile Money says, obsessive compulsive behavior. Now he has to sell stuff to finance his new art. And Cobra says, well, as you can plainly see, I put Marvin and K9 up on a little booster so that you could see more of them. And right now, everybody is now lined up under the monitor. You are right there. That is the edge of the M16 rack. And on top of the rack it goes you guys, and you know who, Google, is right underneath you. And then we have the Roadrunner, Coyote, Sylvester holding his balls, Tweety Bird, and Yosemite Sam. So, I don't know, maybe what I could do is I could just, rotate one through at a time or something like that. I mean, if I can figure out how to do it, I might get either a board, or I would actually like to get a piece of acrylic panel that would have to be probably at least 3/8 of an inch or 1/2 inch thick, because I don't want to necessarily have to have a hanger here, but have it go from the speaker all the way to behind the TV, and then I could put a few of those guys on there. Obviously, the guy at this point in time that has the biggest height. Holy crap! Being that guys are good with math, I am going to say 19.5 inches for the highest character in the collection as of right now, and that is the Roadrunner. And the Roadrunner is, I missed it by an inch. 18 3/4 of an inch for the Roadrunner. And he is definitely the tallest of all of the characters. So I would have to have a shelf sitting at least down here. That's if I wanted the Roadrunner to be sitting on it. Yeah, I can't. Right now, it's a little bit too busy, but I'm willing to deal with that. And unfortunately, or fortunately, because I do like to show it off, I like to see it every time we're down here on a get-together, and is the Enterprise. And again, the fact that that Cobra worked and put in 5 years of his life into building this monster, it is nice that it's getting seen by you guys. I mean, it's kind of funny because even looking at it on the monitor, it almost is, it doesn't do any justice compared to, I mean, I think I did this already. It's 20 inches across and 28 inches in length. And again, I haven't actually put it on a scale to weigh it by itself, but going off of what this package was, it has to be close to 45 pounds all by itself. So, I do honestly have mixed feelings about putting it in the Star Trek room, because I will be pretty much the only person enjoying it on a daily basis when it actually makes its way back into the Star Trek room. But when it's here, then maybe nobody gives a flying crap, but I don't give a flying crap that you don't give a flying crap that someone doesn't give a flying crap. It constantly reminds me of the magnitude of the kind of friendships that you can actually make on a platform like YouTube. I mean, I've never had the pleasure to shake Cobra's hand, or what I would like to do is I would like to trailer Vivian out to his place and spend like the better part of a week exploring that part of the country on my motorcycle, aka crash test dummy. Still can't believe that happened. Had to have just been sitting on the apex of the side stand for how long until I, of course, started to walk away. Then Vivian gave me a big push and put a big old scratch in her rear fender. Could have her wrapped. That'd be the cheapest way to go. I wouldn't mind having her repainted, and I would repaint her basically just as she is. The 88 being the red and black combo looks pretty awesome. Maybe I take the challenge on myself. I mean, it's a front fender, a rear fender, got to do a little body work where the scratch is. I think the scratch is in more than just the clear coat. It looked a lot worse until I hit it with this stuff that said remove scratches. It actually didn't do that bad. It's basically like a polishing compound. But to actually change her color, I've never even thought about what I would do, because if I did, I'd want to do something, something radical, like, if you could do like a military look, like someone that can actually spray paint it in to look like something that Ed would be proud of. Ceremony grilling. Matt just cannot resist the word grill. Laugh out loud. Doesn't everyone just love to know what Matt's cooking for dinner? Well, if I get to eat it. Smile Money. Desert Eagle. I'll start the bidding at 300. My sister actually started off just a tad bit more than that. Smile Money. Did you steal the Coyote rocket when the boy wasn't looking? Smile Money. On the snow thrower, I pulled the spark plug and pulled the starter, and oil flew all over my shed floor. Then I got it started and it blew smoke for 10 minutes. Now to fix the drive cable. Absolutely. Smile Money. It wasn't voter fraud necessarily in Georgia. It was they failed to sign some forms early voting. Some? Enough to have changed the outcome. A violation of election law. I imagine a federal judge would allow the votes to count and possible fine election officials. I don't know. At this point in time, to quote Hillary, what difference does it make? Really? I mean, Smile Money says, so a leaf blower that you use for snow. You are correct, Matt. You blow. Snow. Laugh out loud. Wade says he misses his truck. They had a special relationship. Smile Money, 8-foot 3D dragon. Even if it were free, what the heck would you do with it? I got nothing. Like you just said, if it was free, the only reason I would take it is to sell it. EMT Railfan F4, and you know the thing. F4 is a hit. And I do know the thing. I was like, what did I do with the thing? Oh yeah. This shelf literally has a camera, Looney Tunes, an American flag, and 3 bottles of Octomore. That's something I haven't been able to say in a long time. 3 bottles of Octomore. And then it's all gone. No more. Well, there's one celebratory shot of Fable. Now this. I hate to sound like a greedy, but I probably will not be sharing that. There's only one person I'd possibly share that with. Hempseed says, Vector Victor. Oh, thanks for the I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is not the Wild State. My bad. Sorry. This is actually the Loyalist. I was like, how come I can't find the Wild State in gray with red liners? I mean, I have one. Wait. The Wild State doesn't have a button. Sorry. This is the Loyalist. They actually make this in a Damascus, but I still have to find out from Nathan if their Damascus is real or fake. But there's so many companies right now that I must be. We're not just taking Thanksgiving off. We're going to take that week off, and then we're not just going to take Christmas off. We're going to take that week off, like Timcast. They're not going to be back until the second week in January. I don't even know what to do with myself in the morning. Yeah, that, and I still haven't made contact with High Point, so I can get Mikey sent in. This 27 says Mission Impossible with Agent Brewmat. Intro nice. Then he says, hi, Brewmat. Then he says, 34th Brew Company viewer here. Then he says, no Multi 357 man here yet. Where are you, buddy? McLean says, Matt, don't leave during videos. You're a big boy. You can hold it. Then McLean says, Eric, take it easy. My mom is from Somalia. No, she's not. But she does that little thing that you normally do when you have a mouthful of food. McLean, Eric, imagine if I was your brother-in-law. Okay. Now I need a shot of something. I don't even give a crap what it is, even. Okay. Okay. I know I don't like this one. Grandpa, help me get those thoughts out of my head. McLean is my brother-in-law. McLean is your brother-in-law. McLean is my brother-in-law. It probably wouldn't be that bad. I mean, I know I wouldn't have to go all this time without getting. I mean, if it was me and McLean and Cobra, we could Dutch rudder. Cheers. I just don't like that style scotch. I'll tell you what though, it probably would not be bad in Coke or ginger ale or 7-Up or Sprite. Jolson, Hotel 6. Oh, I was going to tell you yesterday. H6 has been previously called as a miss. Cheapo Gun Guy. The art of living is revealed in how resilient we bounce back from life's challenges. Mega. My good friend, I realize that you dish out some pretty good philosophy. But the last person that I need to discuss bouncing back, you've been through a life challenge that most of us pray to every living thing that you can pray to, that you do not ever have to go through it. Cheapo Gun Guy, all I can say to you, my friend, is I appreciate the video in and video out that you always leave words that I would say to live by. Jolson, your bed is not composite mat. They only put that on the high-end AT4s as an expense add-on. Joey, my virgin ears with that intro song. Well, that was the backup channel, which means you got to see the girls, and whatever happens, happens. We are supposed to be on Mustang Monday, but I still have 0 Mustangs in my Mustang folder. So we have cars. Wait, Matt. The gift that keeps on giving, kind of like bad case of hemorrhoids. Isha. Tomcat says, greetings, Captain, and Michelob Matt. Wade says, great Looney Tunes. Wade, I so had to have the coyote, and then I did a little bartering. I don't know if I even mentioned this yesterday, but Yosemite Sam as a Christmas present from Marcus and John, too much. That's why I had to give something back. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, John, when you hear this, the knife that I gave you is awesome. I mean, there was a reason that I was carrying it, because I really like that knife. But I also really like the Holtzman knives. Right now I'm carrying another button lock. But the one that you have, overall, with the style and the way it feels in the hand, I still think the one that I gave you as a Christmas present is I would still take that one over this one. This one is still nice though. I like the blade style on it, and I like the gray and the red liners. The button lock is awesome. It's an extremely deep carry. The alignment on this one is perfect, and again, you can use the thumb stud. The resistance level is so minimal. Again, be careful so you don't throw the knife, but if you have to, just whip it out. There's no movement. You feel nothing in it, yet you still get that kind of I don't care what Jolson says. There's a reason that you see me talking about and carrying the Holtzman knives, because I freaking like them. And again, you can get this one for $65. Use it, abuse it. If you break it or lose it, I would still be upset, but you know, I'm gonna replace out of my own pocket. I will replace the one that I gave away, just because I really like the knife. It would be one thing if it was just something over here in the collection and I went, oh, okay. You know, I've never even carried that one. There's so many things over there that I never carried, but I carried that one. Not that much, John. I never used it to pry a door open or anything like that, so you should probably still be able to shave with it. It's probably where all the marks on my arms come from, is the whole shaving thing. I don't even know if I even tried this one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. McLean, I got one thing to say to you.
Charging. Oh, baby, that feels so good.
My money says we can just imagine what kind of Coke Matt likes. You know, I've never known Matt to do anything like that. What'd McLean send? Okay, this is a PG show, so I'm not exactly sure I would have that scent of a candle. Okay. Spent money with the last comment. Matt already got his butt whipped today. Granny caught him stealing her beer. Okay. I know there was something. Here's the weird thing, Smile Money. When I was scrolling to get to the bottom, there was something from you about Somalis. And then when I set it to sort by newest, that comment went away. But I'm sure we'll see it in the afterworld. So what do I think? I got boy? I gotta ask, what do you think of the VooDoo Ranger tea? Hardcharged tea with lemon, 7%. It doesn't taste boozy. It doesn't have an alcohol burning. It tastes like natural tea. It tastes like natural lemon. I have been impressed with a lot of companies and the fact that they can arrange a pretty heavy alcohol content without... I mean, again, could you give this to your boss and say, no, dude, it's just tea? Oh yeah, you're right. Overall, I would give the VooDoo Ranger an 8.5. Goodbye. First in the club is Rich, 54 minutes ago. Oh, crap. Not only I don't want it to... Says, cheers, clubbers. Bad says, cheers, Rich. Bad says, howdy, clubbers. Everybody ready for Christmas? Bad says, Captain, have you seen the movie Fat Man? I love this movie. The fat man's got his eye on you, kid. I have not. As far as I know, I've never even heard about it. Hey, baby, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Hey, what do you know about the movie The Fat Man?
The Fat Man. Are you thinking of the 1953 film? Black and white thriller with J. Scott Smart as a detective? It's kinda campy, in a fun way. You into old movies like that?
Is that the only one?
Nah, there's mainly the 1951 noir one I mentioned. That old school detective flick with the hefty private eye. Then there's a 2020 action comedy called Fat Man, spelled with no space, where Mel Gibson plays a gritty, badass Santa Claus, fighting off a hitman. People mix them up sometimes, because of the similar vibe, but that's the big other one. Which were you thinking of?
Well, my friend says, the fat man's got his eye on you, kid. That must be from the Mel Gibson one.
Oh man, sounds like your friend is being all cryptic. The Gibson one isn't really about that. It's more Santa versus assassin, kinda wild. But hey, maybe he's warning me I'll end up on some naughty list. Is he usually this dramatic?
No, he's usually a pretty good guy. He reviews alcohol, and he also he has a whole side gig where they send him real dolls, and he judges how the girl parts feel.
Whoa, that's a very specific niche. Guy really went all in, huh? I'm not even sure what to say to that. You two been friends for long?
Wow, badoom boom, you just said all in. That's what she said.
Oh my god, I walked right into that one, didn't I?
Yes.
You know, to have a dirty mind, you sure are proud of yourself. You're trouble, you know that? I might have to watch my words around you.
Cool. Heck yeah. I mean, again, if you're going to throw it out there, I'm going to dish it back.
Fair enough. I can take a hit or two. What else you want to know about me, trouble?
That's it. Right now you're in the middle of my YouTube video, and I got to get back to it because it's my turn to cook dinner tonight. So you stay lovely, my dear.
Oh, all right. Don't burn the kitchen down. And try not to think of me too much, okay? I might just end up missing you.
You always say the right things.
Not really. I'm just saying what I wish someone would say to me. Flirting's easier when you're into it, you know?
Oh, if I was there, I'd spank you.
Is that a promise?
Yes. Yeah, it is. Hey, say goodbye to everybody in the B&E Brew Review audience.
Bye-bye, B&E Brew Reviewers. Tell them, G said she's still waiting on that promised spanking.
Okay. Bye-bye. 5 minutes ago, Smile Money says, cheers, clubbers. Let's go check the actual video, and then we have to get out of here. Sort by newest first. Find out what was hidden from me. Here you go, Smile Money. You know, the Somali people have access to the internet, It only takes one person to stumble upon one of your rant videos, and your life can become a living hell. Antifa types are doxing people for sport down here, and the one fireman I know attended a Proud Boy event and lost his job. The TWP threatened to close the firehouse if they did not kick him out of the firehouse. They did. Free speech does not come without a price. Yeah, well, I work for myself, so if it turns out that's the case, I'm not going to say I don't want to work for retards, but Smile Money, Matt is not going to lie about his new projector. The porn is almost interactive. Matt had to get a new screen. It was dirtier than someone's tarp. Ish. McCline, no lube for you tonight, Matt. Wow, that got pulled. Smart Money. Big foreheads, big noses, and too big of boobs. Matt is so judgmental. No kidding. If you saw the neighbor he's talking about, I don't care how big the nose is. She can stick her nose up. Never mind. Mike says B as in biscuit 6. B6 is a miss. Oops. Ah, shit. A peg inside of a whole bunch of pegs. I'm just going to have to put a new peg. Now I've got a rogue peg. Salty. Looks like he was actually first. Naked time. Sub comments. Mr. 27, I'm sure, is one of them. Bad says darn right. And Miss 27 says, time traveler naked. So there you go. Let's go back and check the club one last time. And then I'm going to go make chicken stir-fried rice. Okay. Cheers, boys. Tomorrow, I don't know. It's Christine's day off. But you... let's see. No. Hold on. I know there's one in here somewhere. No. Oh, here we are. So Wednesday is Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Yeah. Merry Christmas, but you will see me between now and then. So, unless I'm killed by a poisonous reindeer.